never drink wine. Hola! Before we start, I wanted to give a quick shout out to my very good and very talented friend who designed my new header. If you like her style, I'll link her Insta below so you can check out more. She's really amazing, so it would mean a lot. Now, what are we talking about today? I've been meaning to talk about this ever since the first chapter came out, but now there's 7, so that's a good number. Today's manga is #DRCL Midnight Children by Sakamoto Shinichi. In case it isn't obvious, DRCL stands for Dracula, and the story is in fact based on Bram Stoker's famous novel Dracula. If you've never read it or seen an adaptation, then spoilers, I guess. Sakamoto is, of course, known for his manga Un Innocent and Un Innocent Rouge. His style is just absolutely magnificent, so if you've liked his previous work, then you'll most likely enjoy DRCL as well. So let's get into the story. As I just mentioned, the story is based on Dracula, but it's not an exact retelling. As you might know, the characters in the original story are all of age, and the story is told via journal and diary entries from the characters. In this version, the characters are still teenagers who go to school. The story actually starts on a ship where we see the captain writing into his log about the various happenings on board. He's interrupted by a crew member who seems distraught. He tells the captain that he saw a shadow in the form of a man on deck, which then suddenly disappeared. And the guy can't seem to calm down, and he's just 100% sure that there's a ghost on the ship now. The captain tries to comfort him, but upon touching his back, he notices that it is full of moss. And then the guy just falls to the ground and dies. We then see how boxes days earlier were being prepared for shipping. The workers were curious what's inside them since they're heavy and such, so they decided to open them. So they do, and the stench of 100 corpses just hits them. Of course, they immediately close it again, so we know there is something up with these boxes. Back on the ship, we can see how another crew member just starts losing it, picking fights with his comrades. Another one tells the captain that he has the feeling that somebody's been watching them all this time. The captain then decides that that's enough. He orders a thorough search of the ship until they've searched everything except for the cargo, which is the boxes. So they go there and find not only the boxes, but weird plant-like beings as well. Although a little surprised or even shocked, they try not to question it for now and just open the boxes. And when they do, the captain notices the shape of a hand in one of the boxes. So he tells the man to arrange the boxes according to his wishes. They do, and it looks as if a human being was just chopped up inside the boxes and just make a whole human shape when arranged. Then all hell breaks loose on the ship, and the plant thing starts attacking the people, and this very ship is on its way to our main characters. And since there are only 7 chapters out, I won't say anything more about what happens, but just know that the main characters don't make an appearance until chapter 2, and the first scene of the manga happens way later in the book when the Count is on his way to England, so just so you know. And right off the bat, the atmosphere in this manga is stunning. Unlike many other horror manga, this feels actually dark and menacing. The scenes on the ship, at least. For contrast, things on shore are much more lighthearted for now, seeing as how the evil hasn't arrived yet. And the characters are nothing like they are in the book, which is of course fine. Sakamoto reimagined them in a much more modern light, even though it's still set in the original period. For example, Mina is a tomboy and she gets bullied for being a girl, and she likes wrestling with guys and so on. And that's pretty interesting because in the book she's sometimes told that she has the brain of a man because she's fairly analytical. And so it seems that Sakamoto took this quality and exaggerated it a bit. Lucy is still with Arthur, but is actually Luke. Or is it the other way around? In any case, it is alluded to in chapter 7 that Luke feels like a girl trapped inside the body of a boy. Quincy as well has much darker skin that Bram Stoker probably imagined him to have. And Jonathan looks Asian, I guess. So the characters feel much more modern all in all. But something that is closer to the book is the relationship they all have with each other. There is this friendship between them and a shared love for Lucy/Luke, whom they swore to protect at all costs. Another thing that is a nice, I guess, reference to the book, or just taken from the book, is the phrase "to Kodak" when talking about photography. So it feels like Sakamoto really spent a lot of time with the source material, which is nice. Dracula has been reimagined many times, and there is no shortage of teenage vampire manga out there. But this one really stands out, to me at least. Maybe I don't know enough, but it stands out because it's still set in the 19th century, and it just captures the atmosphere perfectly. I'm personally a huge fan of this time period, and I love manga set in this era, especially when school is involved. You know, young aristocrats spending their days with studies and walks on the shore and the forest, all of them wearing elegant uniforms and maybe looking at each other a little too long. But before their lives can really begin, darkness suddenly lurks everywhere. You know, it's just romantic to me. And as a fan of gothic novels, I could spend my whole life reading this kind of stuff. I don't know what else to say except that I love this manga already. So now a few words about the art. Well, the art is obviously flawless. Guys, I'm not kidding. When I look at each panel, honestly, I feel exhausted. Because I can't imagine how much time and skill goes into each of them. It's insane how good it is. It's a more realistic style than most manga, but I guess you probably know that already. The character design is so perfect. They look so exquisite and beautiful, just as you'd expect from Sakamoto. The darkness and subtle sense of evil really comes through in the art as well. Sakamoto is just on another level, it's true. Long story short, this manga is great. If you like mystery in general, doesn't have to be vampire stuff, but just mystery and a horror and amazing art, please do yourself a favor and check it out. But that is it for this week. I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.